Hey guys! So we're gonna do the assumptions tag. I guess it's probably not a tag because nobody does tags anymore. But we asked you for your assumptions on Instagram. We knew this was going around, so I thought it would be fun for us to do it. And we have a lot of your assumptions here.
We're gonna start with some awesome ones that we have right here. I assume that your house is messy a lot. What do you have to say about that?
That it gets messy and I clean it up a lot. I assume that people don't recognize you when you go to the mall or in the street, basically when y'all go outside.
I'll say 3 times right so far we have been recognized, and I actually have relatives of people that work with me that watch our videos, but
Yeah.
3 times I've been recognized. 2 times we were told after the fact. Like after they saw us, they're like, hey, I saw you today at the this and that.
Yeah.
And one time I was actually fully recognized. Fully. Like, hey, you're from FoolyLiving. And I was on uniform in Arad, which is a middle of nowhere town with not a lot of people in it. So that's amazing.
That was during Thanksgiving too.
I assumed that one day you'd like a dog or two. And yeah, we do like a dog, like us a dog. And we're gonna have one at least.
We're gonna get it at the shelter as soon as we get to Florida, well, as soon as possible.
I assume, just like you did, whenever something isn't the same in Israel as it is in America, Hadar is going to pick up the camera and talk about it. Most likely I will. It may be obvious to you guys what you have and you're used to it, it's your everyday life, but I'll point it out to you and be like, oh, you don't have that? Oh, you didn't have that? Oh, now I get it. Because when we live here in Israel and we talk about stuff we don't have, it's natural to assume that we do, and you're just saying, oh, you just don't know where to look.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
A
way
lot
different.
of people told me that. Of course they sell it there.
I'm sure they do.
I assume Hadar regrets moving to America, but doesn't have a choice.
Go ahead.
It was actually his decision.
I absolutely have a choice in it, and I definitely chose that on my own. After we made up a decision, I chose to go with my family, and I am. I assume Rafael is excited to go to school in America.
First grade. Yeah. It's going to be first grade, not school. It's going to be school, a first grade school.
So you're excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to see Esther Grandma. Haven't seen her for a long time.
We're talking about school. Are you excited to go to school
Yeah.
in America?
Yeah.
For sure.
I assumed that Rafael had crippling OCD after I first watched the video of him complaining that there was a little bit of the lid left on a chocolate pudding cup. Very soon after, I was clearly mistaken. The second video I watched of yours was him enjoying being a very happy, intelligent, and energetic 5-year-old boy. A lot of people assume that, on the contrary, when they don't watch the video and they see him in real life, they assume the opposite. They assume he's just fine, just normal, everything is normal, and the parents make stuff up. But as you heard in the last assumption, his answers, yeah, he does have OCD. It's only crippling if you let it be. We're working our best to help him out with that and get him on the, let's call it the normal track, so people don't judge him as much. Because if I just let him answer questions just like he did now, if we let him do that all the time, that's how it would be like an endless loop, and it would be awkward.
He'd
And
be
people
on
judge him
dinosaurs
that.
by the time we were done.
Yeah, people judge him by that.
Yeah.
So we try our best to kind of
normalize the situation where he is able to deal with things without.
Yeah, and that's how people view him in the street. He's normal. Everything's normal.
Yeah.
But if you sit down for a full conversation, then just like that assumption was made.
Yeah.
But it's not crippling.
And well, when he was there's a few things that are a little crippling about it, but we work with him every single day in very many different ways, but mostly with exposure therapy, and it's helping him a lot.
Clearly. Oh, this is not an assumption, but I just really wanted to say that I love your family.
Thank you.
That's Neely Harrison. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I assumed you had fibromyalgia because our symptoms were similar, when in reality I was wrong and you have EDS. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
By assumptions.
Yeah, sure. Any assumption. Yeah, I didn't believe that I had fibromyalgia. I actually thought that I could possibly have MS, and I thought maybe for a couple years that I had MS, but my symptoms never really got worse. I would add on a few symptoms here and there, or when I was pregnant, my symptoms would become much worse, but I never really got worse. And with MS, I believe that like most people either get worse or they go into remission, and it never got worse. But I'm very thankful that I do.
The same
yeah,
road.
it's always been. Why does this happen to me all the time, you know? Like I went on vacation, Hadar slammed on his brakes, and my hip popped out of place for 6 months. It was not good. I slept on my knee wrong, my knee went out of place for 6 months. You know what I mean? It's like, why does this keep happening to me? But thankfully, I know now what I have had my whole life.
Got diagnosed.
Yeah, and it's good to know.
No longer gonna slam on brakes forever. Just like a fragile perfume bottle.
Yeah. This is from a longtime subscriber, and not sure if you remember me, just wanted to say hello and Happy New Year to the family. Life's been crazy, but I love to check in every now and then. Excited you are coming home. I've watched you and Hadar since a lot, which is when we lived in a lot in military housing. It was a long time ago.
5 years
when we
ago.
started. It got me through a rough patch in life back in 2014. It helped me get through my nights watching your videos. Thank you. Can't wait to see your videos when you move. I still remember Rafael going crazy of the neighbor's drill. Yeah, so many drills in each building that we've ever lived in. Thank you very much for still hanging in there with us, and I'm glad we were able to help you through some rough patches.
I don't assume anything, love your channel, and wanted to tell you guys what great parents you are, but do you still eat keto?
Yes, I do. I am eating extremely low calorie. When I eat like my regular meals, they're keto.
Let's make a new diet name for it and just call it a moderation diet.
Yeah, everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Yeah, even my cheats. I don't recommend cheating. However, when I go off of like keto, this is, I'm gonna stay on this diet for the rest of my life, basically. I have learned a way of eating that allows me to be also a normal person while I'm dieting, so I enjoy the way I eat.
For sure. I assume you feel uncomfortable around Hadar's family.
Absolutely not. We love going over there. They have been basically the kids' only grandparents since we've lived in Israel, you know, because we don't visit the States and they don't get to see my parents. So I am very comfortable with Hadar's dad and stepmom, and all of the cousins, all of the in-laws. We have lots of sister and brother-in-laws. I'm very comfortable over there.
And it's actually like that assumption, you know, you have social anxiety, so it means a lot to be comfortable with other people that are not your family.
Yes, definitely. Because, it wears you out when you're in a stressful situation all the time. It wears you out. And we go over there once every 2 weeks for the past, since Rafael has been 18 months old, we've gone over there like every other weekend.
As much as possible.
So, yeah. I assume Hadar's favorite is Abigail, since he acts quite different with her than with Rafael.
She's definitely not my favorite. I love both of them. I think it's unfair to call one favorite or to say that you love your kids as much. They each get different love and reactions, and I hold Rafael to a very high standard, and he has his OCD and the ASD. He's diagnosed with those. Those sometimes clash with me, so I might look like I'm more loving with Abigail, but I really just want him to be the very best version of himself. I think I've gone a long way from being really harsh with him to less, but that's why it's like that. It's not that I don't love him as much. I probably love him even more in different ways. It's just different.
Known him more, you know, he's known him longer.
I know everything about him. I can deal with that much better now. Yeah. He's helped me with that.
He was a first-time parent, and now he's a second-time parent. So you're going to advance in your parenting the more kids that you have. I hope so. Yeah.
I assume that Hadar has visited Argentina as a child because his father is from there and he has a family in Argentina, and that he knows some Spanish. Greetings from Buenos Aires, Argentina. No, I have not visited Argentina or Brazil or any other place other than Israel and America. However, I did go to Brazil when I was 3. I don't count that as visiting because I was 3. And I went to Cyprus. We took a boat ride to Cyprus over a weekend, me and some buddies. And it's pretty much like Israel, besides the language. But yeah, pretty much ping pong back and forth between Israel and America for the past almost 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I assume that the kids don't really ever talk or see Zeb. That's not a hard assumption.
Yeah.
They don't see Zeb.
No.
And Zeb has been diagnosed with ASD as well, Asperger's at the time. And he doesn't do the talking like that. However, when we do go to the States, even when I was just last there, we talk.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see a lot of, maybe if he's uncomfortable, not a lot of Zeb, but as much as Zeb as he would like.
Yeah, last time you filmed them for quite a while, him and my mother, and they just sat and talked. And
I knew Andrea's not gonna see them for a couple years,
Yeah.
so, and it came true actually.
Yeah.
But I filmed for about 17 and a half minutes of raw footage of just them
Yeah.
having conversation and me sitting there, and they didn't, I had the camera all the way down, so it
Yeah.
was natural.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. Ooh. I assume that Hadar controls the family in the sense that he has the final say in most decisions. You.
I would assume you don't know me. We make decisions together. If it's a big decision, a big purchase, a life-changing decision, of course we make decisions together, and we're not going to let one of us be completely unhappy. So, yeah, we make decisions together.
And because we're opposites and sometimes even polar opposites, it
Yeah.
requires us to deal with things together. Because
Yeah.
if we don't, then we won't be together for 10 years now.
Yeah. Long time.
Yeah, almost 10 years.
It's good stuff.
Actually,
Is
if
it
you
10 years?
if you think about it, just about yesterday was the first time we saw each other physically 10 years ago.
Oh, is it?
It's the end of March 2019,
Oh,
and that's when Passover was.
wow, okay, yeah,
So, yeah.
okay.
We met 10 years
Alright.
ago.
Yep, met 10 years ago.
See how I said that in about 20 words, but you can say that in 5. So yeah, we first met 10 years ago. I assume that you can't see what I'm reading. Here's a fun one. My assumption based on our videos is that your guys' way of parenting is amazing. When your child is stuck or has a problem that isn't life-threatening, you'll let them figure it out for themselves, unlike others who would quickly rush to get their child out of the problem for them.
You let him overcome his fear on his own. You guys are amazing parents, and your kids are going to grow up great children. Thank you very much. Even when Rafael was like 6 months old, he would get stuck in the weirdest places. Like one time he got stuck under a desk, one time he got stuck under a chair. I let him figure it out with encouragement. One time he got stuck behind a door. I let him figure that out because
I think it helps a lot.
it has helped.
We
him.
are anti-helicopter, and everyone else around us is helicoptering, and it makes us even less helicopterish.
Yeah, it's a
We
little
don't do that.
uncomfortable for me to be around other parents that are helicopter parents. It's a little uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I get
think it's-
judged a lot.
It gives the child the freedom. I would want that freedom if I was a child.
Me too.
It's freedom, and especially when someone tells you how to overcome something next to you and you get it done. Like, I have a serious issue. People don't know even what you do. People who are close to me don't know what bad of an issue I got with having to deal with stuff on my own when I need to. When I'm doing something and I'm clearly getting into it, and maybe I have a setback, but I'm getting into it, people offer, hey, I'll help you, I'll get, no thanks. No, I'm serious, no, I'm doing it. Can't you see I'm doing it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just like I don't like other people to do that to me, I don't do that to them. And of course, if they are in need of help, we help them right away.
Yeah. But Abigail's getting to the age right now where she's like, I'll do it.
Yep,
Get
exactly.
away. I'll do it.
And we let her.
Good. Yeah, if they're not in imminent danger, the only time I've really they ever get in trouble is if they're being mean to each other or if they are going to get hurt. Then I stop it. I don't let them get hurt, of course.
I got bruised and I fell.
You did.
See, she had a bruise and she fell, but she's okay.
Yeah, she's
You're okay,
okay.
aren't you?
She's running around.
Yeah.
Girl, that happened 10 minutes ago.
I assume y'all will be in America by the end of summer, at least. Should be.
Yeah, by the end of summer, sure. Absolutely. I assume that people are a bit rough on you and Hadar because they see things through a bit uneducated view of not understanding other cultures. Hadar feels he has to constantly explain or even apologize because people think he responds negatively. What they don't understand is the difference in cultures.
Oh.
Jeez. Come here and get a hug from mommy. Oh my goodness, Abigail. It's okay. Get huggies from mommy.
Her knees. Yeah.
I'm gonna be Hulk and catch Abigail.
Okay. So,
And I'm big.
yeah.
I'm biggest.
I understand what she is talking about because she is married to a person from a different country, of Italy, I believe.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
different.
it is different. He does things differently. He thinks differently. He was raised differently. Everything different. But he is not opposed to different things. But he sees things differently than I do sometimes. And I have to explain my feeling and how I grew up and how that affects me. But I think it's just like sometimes when people see Hadar on the vlogs, it takes them a little while to understand what he's like. Once they get to understand what he's like, then it's okay. Everybody understands you and starts to like you then.
I assume Rafael and Abigail don't speak Hebrew, but if they do, I would love a video of them talking in that language. Rafael can speak words, and he likes to use it with only certain people. Abigail doesn't speak Hebrew, but she understands what I tell her when it's in Hebrew. When we get to the States and they get their English deep sit in, then I'll start working with them on Hebrew too, so we can use it at home. I think learning any other language than your mother tongue is good for you. It's good to learn.
Yeah.
Back when Rafael was only 6 months old, I assumed lots of things which I now know to be false. I used to think Rafael was lonely not having friends and not being socialized with other kids or babies his age. Meanwhile, he thrived having his mom and dad spend quality time with him, bonding and teaching him right from wrong. I was raised not to judge a book by its cover, and after assuming that, and a few other things, I shut my mouth and began to put myself in Andrea's shoes. You've done a fantastic job with raising your family and yourself, Andrea, far better than I myself could have done living in another country with no family or friends around. Hats off to you guys, I love you. Thanks, Holly81 support.
Thank you, Holly. Yeah, that's Holly.
See, she's supportive.
Yeah, I know, I've mentioned this before. Holly was one that did assume what everybody else assumes at first, and then she just, yeah, I guess we just grew on her.
I assume you must homeschool the kids in the morning, or is your schedule different every day?
Yeah, in the morning, usually from 8 to 12, and after 12 we do something else. Around 2, Abigail takes a nap, and then from then on it's pretty much I have to work. So I work on the house, I work on the videos, yada yada.
Yeah. I assume that you think there are not many people who understand what you have experienced living as an expat. There are some.
Actually, when I moved here, we lived with somebody who was from America, and I was in that circle of people who had moved from America to come here, and not one of them are here today except for the person that we were living with. So they all went back. One went back to Australia and the rest went back to America. I'm assuming Hadar will find work in the US. Hasn't been much talk about that.
First thing I'm going to do as far as work is concerned is help Andrea grow the channel and grow all the platforms that she's on right now, because her business needs to thrive and we want to get settled. So if that's good enough for us to live off of, I'm definitely doing that for the first while. I am abandoning my career, as you can tell, and that's going to be in the past. I assume that you, Andrea, are very hard on yourself because you want to be the best that you can be. I just want to let you know that you're an amazing mom and you're doing an amazing job with Rafael and Abigail. I bet Hadar is very proud of you also. We're all here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm hard on myself with everything, but yeah, I'm trying not to be.
Yeah, just gotta relax and live your life.
Yeah, like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, you can't do anything if you're not relaxed. So I'm going to relax.
Yeah. Here's a couple for autism. I assume that you edit out some of the not good side of autism to avoid judging or unwanted comments on videos from ignorant people. And I assume that you control the gluten food for your kids, because if not, they become very active.
We have been struggling to keep a gluten-free, sugar-free diet, especially since we're moving. There's a lot going on, and I'm being very lazy about that at the moment, to be honest. Just everything is not on schedule. Nothing is right now. Do I edit out a lot? I don't really.
Have you been watching the channel? I mean,
yeah, she does actually. She used to comment a lot.
yeah.
Comment
are disabled at
comment
the moment.
on Instagram if you want, or Facebook. Yeah, I really don't edit out that much stuff. Having trouble seeing today.
Oh.
There's a plane going over, and I want to say there was a life flight yesterday at the hospital while I was complaining about not being able to park for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I said, it can always be worse. That guy was not having a good day. Okay, I assume vlogging daily makes you very vulnerable and takes a toll on most don't understand. And I assume it's even harder vlogging and dealing with depression. It is nearly impossible to vlog and be depressed. However, I think I've done it now for a very long time, and I think it, you know, I have teetered a few times in vlogging whether I should quit or not, because especially right now, a lot of my stress comes from being on YouTube. However, this is more important to me and my family than what I'm feeling right now. And I know I will regret it if I stop. I'll regret it for my family if I stop. So I won't stop. I will continue vlogging.
I assume you're a normal couple, a normal family with your very own set of circumstances. I enjoy watching all of your experience unfold for you. And I think that's what a lot of people are. They're just normal people having their own lives and stories.
Yeah. Everybody's different, including us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot for watching.
Thank you.
No, it was my brain.
So I wanted to tell you guys, thank you very much for watching. And if the comments are disabled on this, remember that YouTube is disabling our comments. We always want to see what you have to say. We like interacting with you, and the vlogs always carry on accordingly.
Bye-bye.
So the worst case scenario, you can leave us a comment on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll definitely answer it. Well, thanks again, and remember, comment and share. Fully Living.
What do you have to say about that?
I have to say we're about to move to America.
Yeah.
And we don't need to wait for Daddy at this house. At our house.
That's right.
Yeah. Are you excited about that?
Yeah.
I know Mommy is. Bye.
Bye until we get home to do some trees. When we get home.
This video's gonna be real good because I done put my hair up. Everything down off of the walls. I'm gonna show you another house progression tour. Your kitties are staying, and so is the bed.
Well, my bed is staying.
Let's see which ones are not going.